I like this. I think this one goes good with it.
It does. Oh, how about this?
Oh my god, yes.
Can you imagine her at Halloween Town doing this with the lock, jock, and shock?
For
Why
real.
does it actually go?
Because she's the mistress of evil, that's why.
Hey, you guys, I don't know if you know this, but right now through October 31st on Twitch, you get a reward if you subscribe. You get Discord Nitro or something like that. Yeah,
Discord
you
Nitro,
buy
what's
when you
that?
sub and you get 3 months of Discord Nitro. Pretty cool, pretty cool.
If I wasn't subbed, I would be right now.
Anyways, y'all. So today you guys are listening to our 16th official podcast episode, part 6.2. We are going to be changing our format. So this whole time we've been doing our Sitcom Effect, but we've been concentrating on just 2 sitcoms, which is Everybody Loves Raymond and The Kings of Queens. So we're going to be changing that up because we've been doing 2x2 episodes, right, for the first season.
Yeah.
But we want to explore other sitcoms as well. So we're going to be doing it by season, I think, or by show. I don't know yet.
I think we said by season, but we need to see how everything plays out, really.
So no, yeah. I think between these 2 seasons, which I think is very interesting because, and Everybody Loves Raymond, it shows like the old traditional style where, you know, it's the man, he brings home the bread and the bacon, and the wife, like, she's home and like she has to manage the house, the kids, like the life and everything. And in Kings of Queens, it's like breaking into the modern times of like what it is now. Like it's both the husband and the wife bringing in the money, being both equals in this, but it's still showing like, you know, like the male or husband privilege, you know? Granted, I still go back to like Raymond is a hell of a lot worse, I think.
I think they're the same, to be honest. In fact, sometimes, yeah, I mean, Doug to me sometimes just seems too immature. But I go back to, I think it works because, I don't know, the way they wrote him, like, he just seems more likable than the way Raymond is. But in the grand scheme of things, I think that they're the same.
I think it's like, the reason I feel like Doug could kind of slightly get away with it is because, like, unlike Raymond, they don't have any kids. And as terrible as it sounds, anything, it's like, you know, like, again, like, how we talked in that one episode where Raymond literally for 2 whole weeks get him unemployed without pay, and I think like if that was the opposite, Raymond would be mad. He'd be pissed. Like he'd be kicking up a storm because like, oh, this is food and clothes being taken out of my kids, you know?
Well, then let's dig into this. So we're gonna do Kings and Queens. Episode 11 is called Noel Cowards, or Noel Cowards, I guess. I don't know, sorry. First aired December 14, 1998. Arthur believes his Christmas gift will provide a solution to Doug and Carrie's car woes, but it is one that winds up being worse than the original problem. Do you guys remember this?
I remember it. It was funny, and I couldn't help but laughing looking at the car, because, again, like, as someone who actually lived in parts of Europe, that car and everything, I was just like, yeah, that's exactly
how they
the
are.
Size, yes. And okay, a lot of people were like, oh my god, why? Well, because first of all, a lot of people may not know this or not, but their roads are originally the carriage cobblestone roads. Like, they have not changed the length and width of the roads. They just paved them. So they're literally tiny. Like, they're made for carriages. There's no way a full-ass car, like cars here in America, especially trucks, forget it. You'll be scratching, denting, running into things. The cars are meant to be tiny like that so it could fit enough so you wouldn't have to worry that, oh, like, if I make a slight move or a bump, it's gonna scratch it up and I'm gonna have to pay an arm and a leg to fix it. So I couldn't help but laugh at it, because them and their anxiety of, like, oh my, the steering wheel on the other side, the fact that, like, they were going what they said, like 80, but it was still like going slow. First of all, that I don't agree with. Those things go fast, like freaking fast. We barely had to put enough pressure on the gas, and me and my wife were like speeding down on the highway like little speed demons, and it took a lot for us to adjust to that. So when we also came back to the States, and we had to like pretty much relearn to put amount of pressure into the pedals again, which is, as funny as that sounds, it's the truth. And anyone who's in parts of Europe who have that kind of car and know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it is completely different. So the fact that like, oh, like it's not going that fast. Like, first of all, it's like no. If anything, they would have complained the opposite, saying, "Oh my God, this is going way too fast for us."
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like those, it's weird, right? Because those are things that I think, I mean, like I never really thought about. That would really make a difference, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but do you guys remember what happened to, like, why did he feel like he had to get them the car?
From what I understand, which I have to say right here, like I felt a little bad for the dad, but I also understood where Aaron was coming about him saying like how, cause like he felt bad cause like he thought like, oh, like he was not showing his appreciation for them, for allowing him to stay there and to just, you know, like not be put up in a home like how most elderly people are.
Like, what was it that, do you guys remember what was it that the father-in-law did?
I think he made like a comment about something.
Oh, he put the peanut butter in the fridge.
Oh, that's right. That's how it all started.
Yeah, like every little annoyance that he did, like it was just making Doug angry.
And that's what's hard, right? Because like when you live in a multi-family household, those are things, I mean, those are real. Like those are arguments that really do happen. It kind of made me sad, honestly. I think it made me sad with her dad because I was like, damn, like crappy because has a way of being and they do too. But then it's also kind of like I don't know, I feel that if I was living with anybody else, I feel that I would try to be more considerate. And because I know like I've lived with family members who in the past, I feel like he plays the victim too much.
Yeah.
I keep saying grandfather, her dad. And
Yeah.
I don't like that. But I mean, I did feel sorry for him anyway. But then it's like, but then he's still kind of like very entitled.
I mean, no, yeah, I get it, because, like, I think it's also, like, an older generational thing. Like, he feels like, he probably unintentionally feels like, oh, like, I've done my part, I've did my dues to society, it's now time for me to relax and everything. But, again, it's like you said, like, being in another person's home, especially, like, when you live with them, it's like, you have to not only be considerate of each other, but, you know, like, of the fact that, like, you'll have to live and learn to be as comfortable as a unit as you can be.
Yeah.
And I mean, the dad and the Doug, like, yes, they butt heads, and I do think they bond a bit, funny enough. But I think there's times where the dad, like, he takes it a little too far to the point that it makes Doug feel comfortable. He's like, why am I doing this? And I think that's why, like, again, like how Doug says, like, he's there in his home, like, he literally says, like, he's there doing nothing, and just, I hate how he said he's mooching off of him. And I kind of see how Doug probably feels like that way, but first of all, the dad's old. He literally retired, like, what, like a decade ago? So,
I don't know, but he's old.
yeah, like, again, like, he's retired. Like, you know, he doesn't have to do that anymore. I mean, there are times, like, the dad's like, yes, he feels like a lump on a log, and he just wants to do something for his own thing, so, like, okay, it's good. But, like, I hate it when Doug keeps throwing that in his face, like, oh, like, because he's doing nothing, he's a burden. So, no, I hate that, and, oh my god, I feel bad for Carrie, because, like, she's in a rock and a hard place, because, like, one point I feel like she has to, you know, like, defend and support her dad, because, you know, again, that's her dad. But another part's, like, that's also her home, her house, and that's her spouse, and like she also has to like help defend him too. So it's like I do see she tries to appease to both sides, but I do see like it's not very easy, because then like both of them will feel like, oh, okay, now you're taking his side, right?
You know what I like? I like that she does it. Like she kind of lets them figure it out. She doesn't, you know what I mean? Although there are times that I think they both take it too far. Sometimes I think Doug takes it too far, and sometimes I think the dad does. Where I wish that Carrie would say something, but maybe it is better that she doesn't. You know?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. A lot of times that she does let them figure it out, but sometimes, and like again, like there are other times where she, you know, like you said, a lot of times that she does let them like figure out, because she's like, you know, I'm not gonna get in this because it's both of you. But there are times where she feels like, okay, maybe one of them or both of them take it a little too far. She'll just be like, no, you guys both gotta stop this. I think the dad, what he tried to do for them, I think it was nice that the dad was like, I want to help, you know, like you guys done so much for me and everything. I think that was
Yeah.
like nice of him wanting to do that, you know, out of like showing of his, is it consideration or
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I do. There was like good intention in him giving the car, but he should have known better that like
then to get a
Yeah.
European car,
they,
yeah.
yeah, not even that, but like the fact that they wouldn't like that car. Like him, I think he was
It's
probably
not
like,
a
"Oh my god, this
practical.
car is so cool," you know. But to them, they're just like
Well,
no.
because like that's the thing too. Like, what's a good car, and like what's like what's the rage in the model right now? And one country may not be the same in another country. And I think because the
Yeah.
only reason he picked that one because like he knew a person in
Knew a guy that knew a guy.
knew a guy who knew a guy in Europe who could give him a good enough deal on the newest model of over there. And you know, don't get me wrong, that's kind of a cool connection. They have someone overseas for that. But again, to me, it's just like, okay, like good intention, wrong connection.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like the whole like when you give a gift for a person with good intentions, but it ends up being like a gift that they wouldn't exactly enjoy ever. What I find ironic was that when they decided to give him a good, expensive gift, like he ends up dumping it.
Oh my god, yes.
That was such a
That was
twist.
so rude. Ugh.
I was like, oh my
Okay.
god, the irony.
Let's move on, you guys, to episode 12, Fixer Upper. It first aired on December 21st, 1998. And it says, Doug's advice threatens a good thing when Carrie sets up Spence with a very timid girl from her office. Doug doesn't like Carrie playing matchmaker with people he knows.
Oh, in this episode,
You
I
guys remember
hated.
this one?
Yes, I hated Doug in
Why?
this episode. He wasn't a good
Doug.
friend. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Doug was
he
just not a good friend in this one.
I agree.
Like, I'm sorry, but this is my definition of a toxic friend who gets off of the fact of seeing someone else in a worse state than they are. And again, I've had people like that in my life. I've seen people like that in other people's lives, and I've always been the whole like, why? Like, why do you feel the need to like be like, oh, someone else's life has to be worse than mine for me to feel better?
I agree.
Yeah, this episode was very cringe. Doug was not put in a good light.
He was not.
It's one of those versus how we normally see where he's like this goofy, funny guy who's just trying to make a laugh at whoever's expense. You know?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the way they talk about Spence in the show at all. But I guess he's the one in the show that everybody typically like. You know, there's always that misfit friend. So I don't like that. I don't like the way they talk about him, and I certainly don't like this episode. Yeah, it was very. It was not a good episode.
Not only that, but the fact that like he was wanting to go at his own pace with the girl. I didn't like how Doug tried to push him to go beyond what he was comfortable with the girl. Like,
Yeah,
saying like how
what
like,
the
oh,
heck
it's
was that about?
no, yeah, it's like it's been a month. We've been together for a month now. It's like, oh, you guys haven't done anything yet.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, that's bad. It's like, why? I think that's good. He's respecting her boundaries, and he's going at a pace where he's also comfortable too.
Yeah, and then they ruined it for him, and I really do think that they would have made a good couple too.
For real, like they were both just the right amount of awkward for each other.
I mean, I guess we don't really know, right? Or we're gonna find out.
Or it'd be
I
like one of
guess
those
so.
things that gets never mentioned again.
Man,
True.
it might
I hope
be.
not.
I hope not too, because honestly, I think those two are together. Because first of all, I think what Carrie did for him was pretty cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those. She saw that they could have chemistry, so she's like, "Why not?"
Oh yeah, and she was like, if they didn't like each other, then they didn't like each other. Yeah, I think what she did was pretty cool, because like, from what I understand, none of the other guys have done that for him, right? Like none of them introduced him to a
sorry.
girl.
Yeah, but I guess they all liked that he was the awkward one from them.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that they just like that he's the awkward one, and they want to keep it like that, because I guess if you really think about it, if he's not the awkward one, then the other ones would be, and they don't want that.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so this whole episode was, I think this one's one of the most unlikable ones that I've seen.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all. Well, I am kind of looking forward to see what the rest of the season brings.
I want to see if his friends, if any of them are mature. But so far, the only one who seems to kind of have a better grasp of reality is, oh god, and I always forget his name, but the one who's married. The only other one who's married.
The one that works with him, his coworker?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know his name either.
God,
But
I
I know
forgot his
who you're
name
talking
too.
about.
You know, he wasn't even in these last 2 episodes.
Well, almost, I mean, they take turns. I'm interested to see who's going to make it. Like, does he keep those friends to the end, or are some of them not going to be there?
That's true. The guy that another one of his married friends, the one who had the cheating wife, I thought he was gonna get divorced. But no, it became worse for him.
That's true. Whatever happened with all that? They never
Apparently,
addressed.
I think she just still cheats on him then. You know, if it's left like that, it's like, oh, he's still being cheated, and they're all just like, okay, we're just gonna be with B then if he doesn't see it. Which I
Yeah.
still think is a effed up move.
Okay, but I feel like he knows, and he's just playing dumb. And that's why because they already told him, you know what I mean? So I think that there's only so many times that you can tell someone that their partner is.
I hope in Everybody Loves Raymond that the girl freaking, I don't think she would, but like I kind of hope that she would
Who, Deborah?
divorce. Yeah, I hope she
You're
would.
not gonna get a divorce.
I know, but like I can dream, can't I? She deserves
Oh,
better.
gosh.
She do.
That's funny.
I know.
Well,
I feel like
I
she
mean,
goes
she
through a
does.
lot.
She
and
does.
just stays quiet.
I hope that Robert gets, I don't know, a partner. of
Oh,
some
I
sort.
know, right? He so totally deserves somebody to always be there to be his own personal like. You can do it, you know?
Yeah.
He's his own cheerleader.
Yeah.
I was telling Noodles yesterday. I'm like, I think I can convince Witchy to take a little mascot for your 2 dogs in the form of JJ. Look, first of all, JJ would be super happy because what was I saying?
About how JJ should be her little mascot.
Oh yes, thank you. So
Noodles!
first of all, so JJ would be the happiest little potato with you guys. Let me tell you the many reasons why. One, first of all, you don't have to walk JJ. In fact, you can't even walk JJ because if you were to take him on those walks that you do with your other 2 dogs, you would either have to get one of those. So he would be absolutely loving just being inside all the time. Maybe once in a while you guys could take him out to the front, but really, he doesn't need it. He'd be happy in there. 2, he would have 2 girlfriends, and we know how JJ is. So he would be super happy there. And 3, who's gonna really, come on, your dogs already make a lot of noise. They're already very noisy. I don't think JJ's gonna really add to that. And nobody even has to know that he's there. Because he's so tiny. He's a little tiny potato.
Okay, well here's my thing. 1, he would hate the size of my house because it's an apartment and is used to the big ass plot of land that you have.
But he doesn't. That's what you didn't hear. No, he doesn't. He doesn't roam outside. He's inside all the time.
All he really does is sleep.
Again,
Yes, because
well,
he's old.
first of all, again, he likes the space inside the house. That's what I'm saying. Like, my space is like basically just the confines of like the living room.
And he would be fine with that.
No, because
He told me.
no, he wouldn't. Especially since he, like, most of all, he can't escape away from these 2. Like, they already keep on bugging him. Like, he would literally be beating the shit out of them all the time because, like, they're always be getting up in his space.
He loves getting up in their faces. That's literally what he would do.
Yes, it would be the other way around.
Okay, so the moral of this whole thing is no.
Too bad, JJ. I know. He's looking at me with these big old sad puppy dog eyes now, like, but I wanna.
No, he doesn't. Probably looking at you like, you were gonna give me away. I thought we had a special bond. Why do you want to give me away?
Oh, come on. JJ would never say that about me.
You're right, he'll say that about Dad.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yes, but then you have to explain to Dad why his angry little potato is gone now.
Because we need a big, angry, loaded potato. That's why.
Damn!
The little potato hardly eats anything.
And my medium-sized potatoes are already expensive enough as it is. I don't need a
can
third.
chip in $5 a month for the potatoes.
Oh, $5 a month only. Wow. Is that how much he's worth to you?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to give them for free to you. What does that tell you?
Damn. JJ, meanwhile, in the background's like, I'm gonna plot your death.
This Christmas, I'll wrap them in a bow for you.
The hell you? I hope you forget it. I hope you forget that gift.
So I can see the joy in your eyes when you receive it.
Oh yeah, and then I just re-gift it to Dad. So here's back your old potato.
Well, you're gonna have to wait for next Christmas, so.
No, it's just a gift that keeps on giving.
You'll just wrap it up, and then we'll be like, "Oh, what's this?"
Nothing.
A little potato.
Like, oh, it's nothing, and see it moving. Like, don't be alarmed. It's meant to do that. I mean, it'd be very worrisome if it didn't. I know, but it'd be very worrisome if it didn't move.
All right. Well, I guess we'll cross that. We'll cross that when we get there. Don't worry about it.
No, yeah, as in me locking my house.
I'll get in. I'll find a way.
You know what's kind of funny?
Hit it again.
Is the fact that you guys will be able to get high when you come visit me.
Oh no.
What happened?
Don't tell me.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh.
The weed.
It's worse than that.
Oh no. Don't tell me you dropped the bong. Please tell me you didn't break.
Of it.
Ah, okay.
Like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I have a few more.
I want to cry. I was about to hit it, and my finger slipped.
Oh no, the tragedy. I got a chainsaw!
Alright, ladies, thank you so much. I am Mita.
And I'm Noodle.
We're Bluntly Talk. Bye!
Bye!
See you laters.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and follow us on our other social media.
Oh.
Help! Ah! You're right there, you're right there. I'm over here. I'm over here.
You.